Hello, everyone. Good news. The headphones are still hanging in there. Welcome to Carrow Road for the last time before the World Cup. That is exciting. But not so much for Norwich City, because that is going to provide the opportunity of 4 weeks to stew on this result. And it was not a good result. And it was only half of a good performance. And it was the wrong half. Let's get through some headlines, shall I first? Josh Sargent should be fine for the World Cup. I've had a good long chat with him, as did some of my journalist colleagues at the end of the game. He seemed fine. He had a cut on his knee. He got a whack on his ankle. But Dean Smith said hopefully he'll be fine. And having spoken to Josh, it's not even entering his mind that he won't go. So if you're a US fan, Josh will be in that squad, I'm sure. He'll be heading out to Qatar very soon. And hopefully we'll get to see him in action for the USA, because that would be fantastic as a representative of Norwich City and a representative for himself, of course. Represent yourself? Yeah, it's not too many words, is it? So, and I'm made up for Josh because he's had to deal with a lot, through a lot. And at the moment, he's as good as anyone in that team playing in the yellow shirt. And it's just brilliant, regardless of the levels and all that sort of stuff, and maybe where he needed to develop. He's just such a brilliant kid to speak to. You can understand why he's so popular in the dressing room. And I think it's great that he will get that opportunity. So there we go. Sadly, everyone else has got to stew on this, as I've said, of a Norwich persuasion. I honestly came out, I was at half-time thinking, this is a great performance. This is probably as good a 45 minutes as I've seen all season. And if Norwich play like this for the next 45, it will be their best 90-minute performance. They were playing against a very good side. I probably am going to say that because Middlesbrough were my dark horses to be involved in the promotion shake-up at the start of the season. I can't really believe how bad they have been. And I think Chris Wilder was probably a significant part of that, because I'm just not sure how much he wanted to be there. That all came to an end. Off Chris went. They've now got Michael Carrick in, and I think although there was a period in the first half where Norwich were really on top of them, Norwich got themselves ahead. Really early goal from Josh Sargent, really well taken. That was inside the first 10 minutes, and Norwich had really good control then up until probably about the half-hour point. And in those moments, Norwich were on top. They were looking impressive. They were moving the ball in great quick transitions and getting it forward and creating really good opportunities. And I think there was an element of Norwich really having a bit of swagger in their performance and feeling confident and knowing what they were trying to do. And B, Middlesbrough being a bit shell-shocked by going behind and just going into their shell a little bit. There obviously quite a lot of recovery going on, and their position in the table is pretty rank still. But from then on, and I think it was probably from the moment on my tweet, I said it would be good to have a goal from this territorial superiority. From then on, I think Middlesbrough probably had the best of the game. Norwich were doing transitional moments, and they probably ended the half with them as well. But in general play, I thought Middlesbrough were very good. And then in the second half, Norwich just didn't get going. They sort of went out, and that was it. They didn't really work. They seemed happy to sit in a block, but not really actively engage in the game. Everyone's used the word passive, which is one of my favourite words when I watch a performance like that, because it accurately describes it. And Middlesbrough have got good players. They've got pacey players. They've got young players. They can move the ball quickly between them, and they get in numbers out wide, and they cause issues. And that was kind of certainly how the winner came in injury time, just to make it ultra sickening. But Riley McGree's equaliser was just an outstanding volley. No, it wasn't a volley. No, definitely wasn't a volley. Outstanding first time hit into the corner. Angus got no chance. Absolutely wonderful goal. Honest confession, I didn't see, well, all confessions should be honest. Confession, I didn't see it in real time. I was looking at something on my laptop and just heard that sound that accompanies a good goal, a really good goal. That sort of, oh, people just acknowledging from their sound how good it was. And it was just a wonderful strike. I need to see the rest of the build-up back, because I don't think it was great in terms of how the ball got to him and got to that point. And much was the case with the winner. Again, down the Norwich left, Borough get overload really quickly, and ball put across the box, and Matt Crooks, who's a very big man, stuck the ball home. And there were a couple of other opportunities where Borough were able to stick the ball. There's one while it was still 1-0, and the ball came across, and 3 Borough players threw themselves at it, and no one connected. And it was just full of those moments, really, that did for Norwich. Norwich certainly had their own chances. Gabriel Sara, who I thought was really good, apart from just he sort of summed it up really. The period when Norwich were off it, he just kind of was a bit lost, and so was everyone else really in terms of their physicality. But really sharp shot, but it was straight at Zach Steffen, and he saved. Anel Hernandez fired one wide. Max Aarons fired one wide. Anel also had a good opportunity in the earlier before that, but he drove it sort of straight to Stefan, and he saved. And just sort of numerous missed opportunities really, and the level of that drop off in performance in the second half is very symptomatic of where Norwich have been. And likewise, Dean Smith talking about some of the issues being the same as when he arrived here. And I think if you've been head coach of somewhere for a year, you're going to have to take a lot of the responsibility for that, because by now, I would imagine some of those issues were the non-negotiables that he'd have set up at least at the start of this season, if not when he first came in. So I don't think that's a great look. Teemu Pukki substitution, probably worth clearing this up. Teemu asked to come off. He said he wasn't feeling very well, so that was why he came off. And Middlesbrough scored their equaliser just afterwards, and regardless of how well Teemu was feeling, it certainly felt that it was an issue that Teemu then wasn't on the pitch when Norwich would have hopefully been looking for a winner, which I was kind of hoping to talk up, because I think the atmosphere had been pretty good in the first half. The performance was pretty good. Everything felt a bit more like normal in here. And then the second half all felt a bit more normal in terms of this season. Everyone a bit angsty. Full-time whistle greeted with boos again. And yeah, that same old nagging negativity that is hard to shape. But I mean, it was such a drop-off in the second half that you kind of understand the frustration. I think it was a reaction born of frustration. And I guess we all feel it. I'm not going to go and talk about disconnects and all that sort of stuff, because I've had quite enough of it the last few days. I can wait for the other side of the break. I think we all need a little bit of a break, don't we? So that's that. Mark Atanasio was here, as he was at the AGM on Thursday. He was taking the game in. He was paraded before the game. That was nice. Hope he enjoyed himself. Hope his family enjoyed it. It was certainly nice with the goal and a great moment. Probably would be remiss of me not to say that Mark was also at the Tottenham game at the end of last season. So he's now seen 2 games and both of them with defeats. It's not hold it against him. It's a joke. Don't have such thick skin. Thin skin, even. Wrong words. What else is worth mentioning? There was something else. But yeah, so obviously we've got a long time to stew on this. There's a week off. Then Norwich go to Tampa. There'll be a friendly when they come back, or behind closed doors, and none of us will get to watch it. And then we get back to action at I think it's at Swansea, isn't it, on December the 10th. So Russell Martin will be awaiting Norwich City in South Wales when the championship resumes. That will be exciting. And yes, I look at the table. So I looked at the table, championship table at half time, and just I was going to go into it thinking, well, this is going well. So, you know, Norwich must be near like the top. If they win this game, that'd be great. And I looked at it, and like Norwich was still 4th or 3rd, but still quite a distance. You know, they're like points short. And I was like, God, Norwich do actually really need to win this game. They didn't. And now I've had a look at the table. Norwich are currently 6 points off the top 2, but that would be Burnley in second, who play tomorrow and have a game in hand. So theoretically, if Burnley win their game in hand, which I think is possible, albeit against Blackburn, they could be second, or the top 2, them and Sheffield United, will be level on 41 points. Norwich currently on 32 points. So as it stands, Norwich are 6 points off the top 2, and if Burnley win, then they will be 9 points off the top 2. So just to put that into context, if you were to go the other way and drop 6 points, then that would take you down to West Brom, who are 16th on 26 points. And if you were to go 9 points down, that would take you to Wigan, who are in 21st, 22nd. They're in the relegation zone. So what I'm saying is, by tomorrow afternoon, Norwich could be as close to the top 2 as they are to the relegation zone. Yeah. I haven't got 4 weeks to stew on that. Brilliant. But there we go. Look. That's Josh Sargent. He's on the phone. He's walking fine. Sorry. Maybe I'll get some new headphones over the other side of the international World Cup break. That'd be a treat, wouldn't it? Josh is walking fine. Look, you can all see him. There he is. Oh, he's waving to people. Lovely man. Good luck to him. Good luck to you when you have your break. We'll be doing an On the Ball podcast on Monday night, and then we'll have the rest of the break off until possibly before the Swansea game. I have to figure it out. We might do one before, we might just come back afterwards. Loads of stuff on the Athletic, loads of World Cup coverage. So if you're not a subscriber, blimey, is it absolutely the place to be for the World Cup. Get involved. And yeah, apologies if I missed anything, but it was not a great afternoon for Norwich to sign off on. I can already tell there's a bit of pressure on Mr. Smith from you guys. I do not envisage anything changing over the international break. I say international break during the World Cup. But who knows? I'll probably find out when you do. So, yes, exciting. Yeah, so I'll see you later. Enjoy the World Cup. Have fun. I might do a video in the meantime. And otherwise, let's get rid of that. Let's say goodbye to Norwich City football for a little bit. But obviously read stuff that I write on The Athletic. Read my Nathan Redmond interview. It was really fun. He's a lovely boy. Right, sign off. Cheerio, everyone. Take it easy. And goodbye.